Jack and I went to the Bob Dylan and Grateful Dead concert last week, as those of you who were here last week heard about. And I went with a friend of mine, sort of my best friend. He's 27 years old, and Jack, at going on 50, was older than most of the musicians on stage at that time. And we thought it was going to be a cross-generational show. It didn't turn out to be that. It was like 19 to 23 was the average age in the audience. And so we had some criticism of Bob Dylan's set. We thought it lacked variety and tempo and melodic sense. And all the people who were down within spitting range of Mr. Zimmerman had a wonderful time, I hear. And so my friend Chris likened Jack and me to disciples leaving the Last Supper, belching and complaining about the food. I hope you will warmly receive Bill Homans.
Yeah, as far as I've got an appetite, I have an appetite. The whole world is watching, I understand. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a bit atypical as far as poets go here. Always have been. Nothing stands up.
We always knew Shakespeare was heavy.
We're going to sit there. I am going to read a passage from Shakespeare. I don't mind paying homage to the bard because, you know, he's the greatest poet in English language. And I'm going to read my favorite, probably my favorite piece of Shakespeare. Will surprise you what it is.
Why is that? Why will it surprise?
I'm not going to tell you why it will surprise you. That is classic right now pertaining to some sort of secrecy. Good grief, I can't stand it. I'm going to start with a poem that I see it's mostly a new crowd here that wasn't here when I read this poem before. I like it so much I'm going to read it again. And I beg your indulgence, those who have heard it, because I know you're going to have fun anyway. It's called The Mover Shuffle. Upstairs, downstairs, desks and couches, tables, chairs, doing the mover's shuffle. We grunt and sweat from day's beginning. The radio's on, the Sox are winning, doing the mover's shuffle. Upstairs, downstairs, ladies' wardrobes and kids' teddy bears. Careful, pal, don't scratch the wall. Watch the piano, don't you fall, doing the mover's shuffle. Upstairs, downstairs, fiddle lift while move we dares. 90 degrees inside and out, $10 an hour, move you about. Although we'd rather be fishing for trout. Doing the mover's shuffle. Upstairs, downstairs. We don't give a shit about your affairs. If we weren't good men, we'd rob you blind, snatching the valuables we could find. When they're out of your sight, they're out of your mind, but that's not the way that we're inclined, doing the mover's shuffle. Upstairs, downstairs, grandfather's clocks and kitchenwares. Who cares about your little obsessions as we fill the truck with your possessions? Newburyport to Roslindale, moving your stuff without scratch, without fail. Shit, I'll cut my hand on a nail. Deal with it later, there's work to do. A big cup of coffee will see us through. Moving for you and you and you and you. Doing the over shuffle. Yes, thank you. Going to, yes, thank you. I'm going to add a little perspective to myself here. This is called, Thank God We Still Are Friends. I long ago have finished contemplating why two hearts attract them each to each. A dozen needs, 100 wants, and several thousand dreams. We fulfilled quite a few, we did, my man, my partner. We have kept it in the road. Come close to crashing once or twice, but now, as I am here and you are somewhere else, I see that we have just run out of gas. 10,000 miles I drove my battered van. then 20,000, 50,000 more in combat on behalf of Mother Earth. You rode there by my side. You were the brains. You had the plans, and I was glad to help because you were the fighter that you are, though you have never raised your hand to man. Yes, thank God we are friends. Maybe again, someday we'll need each other's help again, just as in that New Hampshire armory, when first you trusted me as a comrade, as one who would stand up, as one who would stand by you all the way. I was the one who flinched first. Forgive me. It's harder to begin now than before. Perhaps in time I'll find the guts again to satisfy the limits of our vow. And thank God we are friends. This poem is to Mr. David H. Wood, who is the chief historian at the Historical Society of Stockbridge, Massachusetts. He was also my English teacher for 3 years as I was going to school, graduating from high school in Lenox, Massachusetts. I'm not a Yankee. I guess you maybe can tell I'm not a pride Yankee, you know. I'm born that way, but I just thought, you know, I never was raised there. I loved you then. I loved you now. The way you woke us up at break of day, young minds part formed and part confusion yet, fearful to age, disdainful of the change, we stood as manhood beckoned, callow youth. You were there to point us to truth. You cared when papers would not right themselves at night, when rivals teased and young fists flew in rage. In our first foundering efforts on the stage, when writers' deep depressions threatened us, in chapel's dim light leading us in hymns, I loved you. When as the years went by, I searched for love, for truth, for sex, for meaning in my life, for dark and light, sometimes not knowing, seeing, understanding less than what I could or what I should. I knew you were there still, a touchstone constant over space and time, a teacher, beacon, guide, familiar ear, to write or not to write as was my need. I loved you. You never let me know if you ached too. If youth's stark passions, hard realities, had ever burned inside you as they have in me, discretion wash you away. As though you had no problems. If you did, you bore them manfully without our help. How could we help you? For we were but boys, young, dumb, and full of color. How could we make your master's job less hard, except by learning? By chance, by trial and error, every now and then, by inspiration, leaping on ahead, our shaky legs of learning exercise, you beat us with a gentle stick, you nudged, cajoled, induced, but never shamed us onward. I loved you. I wonder, David, now that we're both men, who never need apologize again for who we are, for what we were back then, or are now. Can this love I feel inside, this almost filial duty I perceive, fill any part of you that still is empty? What have you sacrificed to be for us, a teacher, arbiter, friend, counselor? That ear we needed, what now can I do? Shall all gratification be deferred for you? Tell me how I can now reward the thousand kindnesses, both large and small, you showed this youth, now man, when most I needed. me to you, and I will come. I love you. We are not saints. All men fall short, they say. But I will hold you at close